Hey everyone, this is Chris and Sandy. Been with the Chris and Sandy Show. We get up close and personal with some amazing guests throughout the entertainment industry. And today, like I say on every episode, we got a great one for you.
Yes,
who do we have?
We have Andrea Pearson with us today. She got into performing at 9 years old when her mom entered her into a local televised talent contest, and she won first place. She has performed on the Opry with Bryan White, and she has also opened for Reba and sang background vocals on her record, for which she won a Grammy, plus so much more.
And we're excited to have her on the show because we're going to talk about that more.
Yes.
And who knows? Let's see where this goes. Welcome to the show.
Yes, welcome.
Hi, everyone. Hi, guys. So good to
So
meet
how are you doing today?
I'm doing so good. We're getting rain here in Nashville finally, which we've kind of needed. So there it is.
Yeah.
So this past year has been a struggle for a lot of people. So how did COVID affect you? And what have you done this past year to kind of maneuver through this maze?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, no doubt COVID affected everybody and just every line of work. But in the entertainment industry, it for sure was really tough because we depend on going and doing live gigs, So when that was off the table, I think people had to just kind of, I guess, get creative. And if you had something else that you could do, to lean on that a little bit during that time. But one thing I do beside music is I paint. So I'm an artist. Yeah. So
You're an artist through and through.
Through and through. And so I was so thankful for that because I was able to kind of lean on that during that time and be at home and just, that was very COVID friendly. I'm just sitting there by myself doing paintings. It was great. Yeah.
That's like for us, we launched this show January 2020. So a couple months before COVID happened.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And our original plan was like 100 interviews the first year. We thought if we could just do that, that would be a great foundation for a first year.
Yeah.
Then COVID happens. And I told Sandy as I was watching everything shut down, I was like, artists that normally wouldn't come on a brand new show might be willing to come on a brand new show now.
Oh, yeah.
So we just went all out. And because of that, we did over 300 interviews last year and over 400 so far.
Wow. Congrats. That's amazing.
And last week, we even had Scotty McCreery on.
We did.
Wow. Those are great numbers for just starting off.
So it's been, so
COVID.
for us, COVID's kind of been like a plus.
Wow.
Silver lining.
We just had to find that silver lining. I mean, if nothing else we could do, let's just do the show.
Yeah, you turned it into something great and were able to get your business, going stronger through that. A lot of friends of mine, I didn't do it, but a lot of my friends started doing online shows. And I know that became really popular because people could sit in their living rooms and still enjoy live music in a sense, So I know that was also a good platform for people.
And I think that's going to be the future where you're going to see a lot of people, and I've already seen some doing this, where, as you know, that a lot of these online shows are having people pay $5 to join in.
Yeah.
And so I think the future is going to be, you're going to be local wherever you're at, doing your concert like you normally do with the crowd, but you're going to set up an online show attached to it so that your online audience can participate right along with the fans.
Yeah, man, it's so cool. And I think everything is going that way, with social media and everybody being able to access people online. So who knows, this might have opened the door for an entirely new way to reach fans.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, it's always been there, but for years, now granted, it's been more perfected over the last year. But the software, Zoom and StreamYard and all that's always has been there for a little while. But now people have realized, here's another avenue. And I think now as things start opening back up, there's going to be another revenue stream for artists where they can say, you know what, join in with us $5.
Yeah.
You get 1,000 people to join in. That's 5,000 for that one night.
Oh, I know. It's awesome. It's like there's more possibilities, and I'm excited to have some shows coming up this year now finally. And the first one I did was in April. I did a show with Leroy Parnell, and there's nothing that beats being out in front of a live audience and seeing people's faces and
Yep.
and getting that. It's just a
That
relationship.
interaction.
It's a relationship with the audience, and that's what got me hooked right
Mhm.
from the beginning. Like I started singing at 9, and that first time ever on stage, I was like, "Whoa, there's these people that love this things that I love so much. It's these songs and music, and there's this emotional connection, and I was hooked."
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah.
I love that. So when, a lot of people would ask, when did you know you wanted to do music? I always like to go deeper than that. When did it click that this could actually be a career move for you?
Well, I was a really shy kid. Like when I was little, I wouldn't even talk in school, and I talked at home all the time, but I wouldn't talk in school. And so, but I always sang around the house all the time. And my mom put me in this televised contest, this singing contest. And being shy as I was, I don't know what possessed her to do that. But I got up and I did it, and I sang the song, and that really got me out of my shyness. And
Wow.
I wound up winning first place, which was like, icing on the cake.
Ego boost there.
Oh, yes.
It was, and it was just like, when you said when you did you think this could be a career? It was like, oh man, I just won $150, and to a 9-year-old, that's like
Wow.
winning $1 million.
It is.
And so after that, I started to. My dad started booking me, and I was playing shows all over in fairs and festivals and making money at it. So
Now, was that the
I
moment
hate to say
your
I guess
parents
9,
knew?
but yeah.
Was that kind of the moment your parents knew there was something here?
Yes, absolutely. It was like I don't know what kind of, it's a duck to water. I don't know. I took right to it, and it just became everything. That's all I wanted to do was sing and perform. And so that's what we did.
So what would you say is something quirky about you?
Quirky. There's too many. One thing about me, I like to constantly do new things. And so if there's something I've never done before, like I'm not afraid at all to I want to tackle it, and I want to do it. And so I started doing woodworking like a few years ago. I'd never at all been into it. And I got this idea, like, I'm like, I can do that. I can build this, I could do that. So I tend to who knows what I'll take on next, but I take on a lot of different creative outlets whenever it strikes me to do so. Haven't started knitting yet. I don't know. Maybe I'll save that to my grandma days.
I love that. Yeah. So as you know, a lot of people, they see the glory of like a Blake Shelton, a Carrie, a Miranda, and all the big artists, but they don't see the grind, the sacrifice, the tears, the struggles that it takes, not just to get to their level, but even a career level within the entertainment world. And I always want to talk about this side because I feel like sometimes people gloss over this side of it. And so you have a lot of people diving into this industry and have no idea what's in for it. They think that, I got a talent. If I got a talent, I can make it. But we both know it's way more than that. So talk a little bit about some of the sacrifices and struggles you've had to do just to get to where you are today.
Sure. I mean, I'm still struggling and sacrificing. I don't know if that ever stops. But it's just a long road. It takes a long time, and you just have to keep getting back up and keep putting out another song and writing more music, and just not being afraid of the word no, really, at the end of the day, because you'll hear a lot of that. And the biggest thing that's the way I've grown over the years and what's helped me a lot is really leaning into my own intuition and where that's taking me, as opposed to everybody's got an opinion. So when you start involving people, and it's good to listen and take people's opinions into account, but at the end of the day, you can't be a puppet. You can't be what everybody wants you to be, because you'll be nothing. You won't be anything authentic, and you won't be yourself, and your music won't.
And there's a lot of that in music.
There is, and I think you sell yourself short, and you also sell the world short of what's authentically and uniquely you, by trying to stay the course and do what you do, because it's tempting. I mean, I've had a lot of times where music changes trends a lot. So what was, in style a few years ago, suddenly it's shifted and it's this way. Well, if you're an artist that's constantly, you're just
changing every 2 years and
and
facing the waterfalls.
Yeah, and I mean, if that's authentic to you and you want to do all that, that's great. And I think you should always grow and change and evolve as a musician, but you have to be okay with not being the popular one always during the frame of time when you're in your music, and it might not be the trend at the time, but just do you and do the music that you do great and give that to people, because there's an audience. There's always an audience. So
I remember a friend of mine I reached out to in Nashville when we were launching this show, and I asked him for advice about the show, because he's done podcasts in the past. And I remember him telling me, and I'll never forget what he said. He says, whatever you do, be and stay authentic. He said, because he says, you could tell every Bobby Bones joke, you could tell every Ty Bentley joke. And he says, who knows, you might be good at that. You know, but the day will come when authentic Chris comes out. And when that day comes, you're going to lose every bit of your audience, because they were never attracted to authentic Chris. They were attracted to fake Chris. So if you stay authentic from day one, your show may grow slower, but you'll gain the right audience.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better. That's exactly it. That's so true. And that's for anything. I mean, I think, whatever it is, you have to be authentic to yourself and kind of be willing to lose out on some opportunities sometimes. Be okay with that at the end of the day, because you've got to stay true to who you are.
A part of me wonders if a lot of the drugs and alcohol that happens in music happens because a lot of these artists are trying to be who they're not. So they use that to mask that they know deep down they're not that. Maybe.
I don't know. I can't speak too much on addiction, and I know people struggle with that. And I think but I do know for myself, like, it's hard. You want to please people. There's a certain amount of people pleasing. You want people to be happy with you. Yeah, and it's very odd being your own. Like you're the brand, so I'm the brand. So it's hard not to take things personal. You shouldn't, but it's hard not to take things personal if someone says, "Oh, I don't like that," or "This isn't good," or whatever. But and that can affect people. Some people on a deeper level, and I think that it's hard. It's hard to. I don't know, when people have a lot of success, sometimes there's an expectation and there's pressure. There's more of a team to kind of keep afloat. You've got a lot of people riding on your success and your continued success. So that's a lot of pressure too.
Our friend Joe, he's right on the money. He said addiction can be fun, but man, it'll catch up to you eventually.
Yeah, totally. I don't know. And I think just the nature of some creative types, and I'm like that too, where I'll get really obsessive. And I definitely delve into the extremely obsessive thing, but fortunately,
I can be obsessive too.
Yeah.
I mean, I went through 19 years of addiction, so God healed me over 13 years ago, and I've been sober ever since. But I've had this addictive personality ever since we married. So it's like I attach.
Yes. Some of the most beautiful, wonderful people that I've ever met have that. And my dad, even, I mean, he struggled a lot with like food addiction, I would call it. I know that sounds bizarre, but it affected his health a lot, and it would override choices he made sometimes for his health, and it would affect everybody emotionally, and it was hard. But some of the most beautiful, wonderful, like vivacious, interesting people that I've ever met have been addicts, and they have this passion, and there's this drive to want to like do everything in excess, and and it's beautiful and it's amazing. And then unfortunately, when it goes into an area where it's not healthy, it can be also really dark and tragic and awful. So
that's why I pour it all into this show, because it's like, when you have that addictive personality, you throw everything into whatever you're doing at that time. And it's like, I want this show to one day to be on TV and be an Emmy-winning show. You know,
I want that for you too. That's amazing.
I would love for like us to be the first married couple co-host of a TV talk show.
Yes. Well, and see, you envision that. Is that that's something that you can clearly see, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And I believe in that a lot as well. It's like you have to kind of be the one, whatever field you do. But like for me in music and entertaining, it's like if I don't see it and I don't see that vision and believe it, I can't get anybody else on board, really. You know, it's like I have to see it and believe it and be behind it. So
exactly.
And see it in its entirety. That's
like with this show, so many times in the last 18 months, you know, because again, we go through the same struggles y'all go through we want to be the Bobby Bones, the Ty Bentleys, but in our own way, of course.
Yeah.
And so we're striving to reach the top as a show. And it's like you got all these, you're trying to do this and you go through the struggles. So, but there are times where you feel like, you know what, I'm going to quit. Or I'm gonna back away, and then you slow it, and you think about it. You're like, no, I can't slow down.
Like we've come too far.
We've come too far, you know. And you can't stop now, you know.
Yeah.
Like that song, "Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now."
Oh yeah, we called that as our song. They kind of added that into our wedding video
back in 18
years ago. I love it. I love it. You're preaching to the choir, man. That's it. It's like you just. Keep going, have that vision, keep going, can't stop, don't back down for all that.
And you know, it's like the story I remember, you know, a lot of people don't realize that when it comes to entertainment, a lot of people do what you do. A lot of people do what we do. No matter what industry you're in, a lot of people do it in entertainment. Yeah. The thing is, most people won't do what it takes 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years down the road. They want it now or they quit. And so you have to outlast everybody else, and because the cream will rise to the top. Yes. And I remember hearing a story where there's two guys in the woods and a bear pops up. One guy jumps on the ground tying his shoes. And the other guy looks at him and says, "You can't outrun that bear." He says, "I don't have to outrun the bear. It's got to outrun you." And ain't that kind of what the whole industry is?
That's a hardcore friend. Glad he's not mine. Oh, that's funny. That's true, though. No, that is true. I mean, you got to hang in there and with whatever you do. But you know what, too? Sometimes people are. If you feel in your heart that you've done it for a few years and you're no longer feeling the reward from it or passion for it, there's no shame either in like going, hey, you know, there's this other part of life I'm wanting to chase or miss out on. I love seeing that too, where people's journeys, because we're all on a journey, right? And it's constantly moving and evolving.
And they change and they blossom.
And your goals change. It's like when I first moved here, I had like everybody does, I think when they moved to Nashville, it was tunnel vision, where it was like, well, I have to get the big record deal and I have to get the #1 single and I have to get, you know, and you think that equals happiness. But it doesn't always equal happiness. And quite honestly, it's like, we go back to that being your authentic self. A lot of times those platforms might not allow you to be your authentic self. So, it just depends what your goals are out of that. If it's for fame or it's for I've reassessed over and over through the years and kind of come back to that and ask, well, you know, like what am I really chasing? Like where is happy? And that's kind of where I go.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And, you know, like Joe said, that Jeff Bezos didn't make a dime from 94 to 2002. And now look at where he's at.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. I mean, you hear these stories of people sometimes that just, you know, it wasn't coming from a place of chasing anything or trying to be somebody else or have it. It's like they're doing something out of an authentic, real passion. It's real passion and a unique idea. And, you know, not all of those are going to become a huge success, but maybe success is different for everyone. For me, success is like, you know what, if I have people that, like, I just had a girl message me this morning on my Facebook page, and she said, I got a show coming up August 28th. Where is it at? It's in, oh gosh.
That's my 50th birthday.
Is it?
It is, yeah.
Oh, you guys should come up to it. It's in Canton, North Carolina. And I'm playing, it's a little drive. I'm playing with Bryan White, and we're doing a show out there. It's going to be fun. And this girl messaged, and she said, would you do your song Growled with You? And also I do Stand By Me, a version of that. She said, would you do those? Because those were our wedding songs.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, see that? I mean, that to me
that's
is
what
success.
it matters.
It's like the honor that somebody would use, of all the songs, would use my song as like their wedding song, their first dance. I mean, that, I know that might sound cheesy, but like that's it for me. You know?
I love that. And speaking of Bryan White, tell us about your Opry.
Yeah. That was, oh my gosh, that was like a dream come true. I think everyone in country music grew up with the dream of playing on the Grand Ole Opry. My grandma used to watch that show all the time when it was televised, or listen to the radio. And my family all really loves country music, and so I just always had that dream. And then when the opportunity came around, I get emotional just thinking about it. It was just one of those moments I'll never forget. And my dad, I just wish he had passed away just a little over a year before I sang on that. And I just so wanted him. I just so wanted to call him.
I'm sure he was looking down on that one.
Oh, I know he was. I just so wanted him to be there, in the audience. But he was there, and I felt him that night. And so for many reasons, that's one of my favorite performances ever.
Wow. I definitely love that. So tell us about your new song.
Sure. The new single is called You're It. And it is a song that I wrote when I had this, like, sometimes I'll get these, and I know they're God inspired. There'll be these creative waves, I'll call them. And I may not write for like a month or two, and then all of a sudden this wave of creativity comes, and I just surrender to it. I know now, because it's happened a few times. I go, oh, this is it. And I'll surrender, and I'll go in my room, and I'll just write until there's nothing more to come out. And so it was like 9 songs in 3 days or something. I wrote. And this was one of them. And so I was like, okay, it's just a positive love song and up tempo. And I felt like just because of the heaviness last year with COVID and everyone being stuck at home, and there was like this heaviness in our country. I just wanted to put a love song out there, an up tempo, feel good thing.
Definitely need all that right now.
Yes, we do.
Yes, exactly. And so that's the single. And we actually shot the video in Sedona, Arizona, for 2 reasons. One, because I'm not gonna lie, like I kind of wanted to take a little vacation out there, and I could go. Well, I'll go out there, and then I'll maybe hang out for 3 more days and just hike, which I did. But also, it's just it's like a I almost can't think of a more beautiful place than Sedona. Yeah. For me, I love it, the epic rock formation, and it's amazing. So I thought, when I heard the song, I thought, this is where we need to, I heard the production back, and I went, this is where we need to shoot the video. I can see it.
I love that. So tell us about the Grammy.
Oh, my Grammy. Oh, my goodness. Well, that was also another.
That's got to be crazy.
Yeah, that was I also think I cried when that happened. And it was another pinch me moment, because I grew up listening to Reba McEntire. She's like the first country artist that I heard that made me want to sing country music. Oh, wow. And I just loved her. I loved her her voice. I loved her empowering females and the daring choices she made with song selection and everything she did. So I got to actually sing background vocals on her record sing it
Wow.
now. Yeah, her it actually won a Grammy for Best Gospel Album, and then also Dove Award too. So
Yeah. Oh, wow.
but it was just so amazing to be singing background vocals on that record and part of it, and so that was a dream come true. Also, finally getting to be on a record with one of my biggest heroes.
And that's what I love about the whole music industry. You know, you don't have to be on top to still live your dreams.
Exactly. I mean, there's so much out there that again, it goes back to like where is happy? Where does happy live for you? And if you're going to be constantly looking at what you don't have, well, I have this, but I didn't get my record, I didn't get a number one song, or you're just never going to be happy, because there's always, you might have that for a moment, but then it's gone. Somebody else gets it, and you're just going to be constantly feeling like, you know, you're focusing on what you don't have rather than appreciating those little or huge moments that you did get.
Yeah, because it's always the little moments that lead to the big moments anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, I got to tell you, like, I know I did say that those were two of my favorite moments, and they were big moments, but I can also remember like little tiny shows that I played out in California at a little winery or whatever, and just had about more fun there than I've ever had in front of any huge, large audience. Because I mean, there was just a magic. The people were amazing, and people were so close. You could interact and talk. It was awesome. So I do love it. I love all of it. It doesn't need to be big either sometimes to be like really memorable and fun.
You know, our buddy Joe, he said, living your dreams doesn't always mean making a ton of money. Not everyone gets to talk to the Backstreet Boys, because we recently had Brian Luttrell on our show.
Yes.
Oh wow! Oh my gosh, that is crazy. That's so fun.
And you know, that's one of those things. Even though our show doesn't make money yet, some of the people we've been able to talk to, we're like, wow, we get to do this.
It's been surreal.
That's so amazing. Isn't he he's from the South, isn't he?
Yeah, he's from Kentucky.
Kentucky, okay,
Lexington, Kentucky. I'm also from Kentucky.
From Lexington?
I'm from the other side of the state, Pikeville, Eastern Kentucky.
Wow, that's
basically
beautiful.
Where she lived was 15 minutes from the Virginia line.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, Kentucky's beautiful. I have one of my good friends lives there. I love it there.
So as you know, a lot of people, they see you as the artist, but they don't see the teams that make you. And in our opinion, the teams never get the love they deserve. But on our show, they do.
Yes.
So
I'm
take
so
a few
glad.
moments just to tell us about the team that helped you be who you are.
Sure. Well, Cliff Doyle has been instrumental.
He's awesome.
He introduced us, and he has been so wonderful. He's a newer team member with me, working with me on this single and just upcoming stuff. And he's been just so authentic and down to earth and real through and through. So not always easy to find people like that. He's amazing.
That is true.
And then Ken McMeans has been such a dear, close friend for years now. And he's been booking my shows I think we started working together in 2015. But he's amazing. And also just same thing as Cliff, like just one of the good guys, like really authentic and real and passionate about music and real music. And so he's been a huge champion of mine. There's so many, and Patty McClinton at Think Country has been an awesome new friend that's jumped on board with this and has really, really given me a lot of support with this song and particularly, So there's a long list, but I'm just, and I mean, I did this video, and I like to direct videos and edit them and do all that. But of course I can't be my camera person at the same time. And my friend Jesse Ayers, he came out and shot the whole video for me and was willing to get up at 5:30 in the morning and out there on a rock as I'm dancing around singing this song. And he did an amazing job. He's awesome too. So, yeah.
And speaking of teams, we have a third co-host, our little 9-year-old, and we allow to ask a few questions. So
fun!
We're gonna go get him.
Yes.
Oh yeah, totally do. That's awesome.
And then his name's Christopher, and when Caitlin gets older, we'll be plugging her into the show too, because we are filming a fair show.
Yeah, so you've got a daughter about the same age as a little bit older than my little girl, and that also Eliana, she's a year and a half, and that was another thing that happened, where we couldn't foresee COVID happening last year. Hi there.
Hi, Andrea.
Hi, how are you doing?
Doing good. What's your favorite food?
Favorite food? I like Thai food.
And what's yours?
Mine is pizza.
Oh, pizza. What kind of pizza?
Pepperoni, sausage, and supreme.
Oh, yum. Those are all good.
Yes. All right, so what's your favorite TV show?
Walking Dead. You probably don't. You shouldn't watch that. Don't watch that.
Mine is SpongeBob.
Oh, that's a good one.
And what's been cool about the show is because we bring on artists and actors on the show. We've been able to bring quite a bit of people from his Nickelodeon and Disney shows onto our show to talk.
Oh, how fun. That's great.
So it's been crazy.
Oh, so cool.
Yes, so what's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie?
Yes.
Ooh, I like a few. Big Fish is one of them. Shawshank Redemption. Gosh, I don't know. The Notebook. Throwing a love story out of that, I don't know. I like
that's Sandy's favorite.
Yep, my favorite Notebook. Yeah,
oh, I love that movie. I definitely have watched that more than 3-4 times, probably.
Yeah, same here.
Mine is the Minions movie.
What's that one?
The Minions movie.
Oh, the Minions. Okay. Oh, fun. I'm sure I'll be watching all those shows and things pretty soon. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because little Caitlin loves all that too.
Does she? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Ellie will be wanting to watch all that stuff. Right now we're in like Coco Melon and all those songs. Yeah.
Yes.
Bye, thanks.
Bye. Nice to meet you.
You too.
He's so sweet.
What's funny is when we were in Nashville, it was like every time we turned around, it's like he's 9, but he looks 11 because he's tall.
Yes, he looks 11 or 12.
And all these these little 10 or 11-year-old little blonde girls, every time we turned around, kept waving at him and smiling and saying hi. And he's
like, stop. He's 9.
No, he's not. We're not ready yet.
We're not ready for this
yet. Oh my gosh, that is funny though.
And now he brags with his friends here. He says, the Nashville girls love me.
He's got all his buddies here.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love it.
So needless to say, he's always been ready for Nashville, but he's really ready probably now.
Oh yeah. He's like, we're good. We can go to Nashville. Bye, Georgia. Well, that's so exciting. I really hope that you guys are able to get down here or up here, I guess. And, and just, I mean, it's the coolest city. I can't say any more than that. You've been here. You've seen it.
We have.
Yeah, and both times we spent first time we spent 5 nights here, but this last time we spent 7 nights.
Yeah.
And for my 50th birthday, we booked 7 nights.
Wow, that's awesome.
And it was funny because we're up there and we feel like that after 7 nights, we're like, okay, we've been in rush hour several days. We've been in this, we've done this. It's like we feel like we're living there. When you stay that long in a city.
Oh yeah, you start to get into the groove of things and figure out where everything is and what. I get it. I totally do.
My biggest problem was I don't see how people learn the interstates without a partner, because I had her. So you'd have the GPS, and it would have where you know that in 2 miles you're turning left onto another interstate. Yeah. No big deal. I get in the far left or next to far left lane. Not a big deal. But then a mile later, on this same side, another interstate connects.
Oh, I know. I
So
know.
now all of a sudden, instead of me being in the left lane, I'm in the right lane. So
Oh yeah.
It was crazy.
It is crazy. It's so crazy. I don't know how I did it when I first moved here because I didn't have a navigator and I was just like, where do I go?
just had to figure it
To
out.
figure it
And
out.
that was before, like, that was before Waze where I could go, where do I
yeah.
go? So I'm just sitting there. I think someone explained it to me. They said, well, Nashville's like a wagon wheel. You've got the middle and then you've got the belts that go around it, like Broward Parkway and Old Hickory. And then the highways all kind of are like the spokes.
Yes.
That's just stuck in my head. And sometimes it's helped. But,
I remember somebody told me, if you miss your exit, just stay on the road you're at because it'll all come back where you need to be.
And that happens.
And what's funny is
It
we were coming out of the stadium after the fireworks, and of course it took us 30 minutes just to get out of the stadium.
Yeah.
And so we turned left, and then the GPS had everybody going 24 east.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to merge over. Every car blocked me. They would not allow me to merge over. And so we end up missing that. And then the GPS re-guided to 24 West because we were south of
because we
stayed in Brentwood.
Okay.
So it told us, and I asked Sandy, please don't tell me it's going to make us U-turn because I already seen way down traffic on that. He says, oh no, it ain't showing U-turn. Okay. So thank God they blocked me because when we got on 24 West, nobody went that way. So we went 24 West to 40 East, I guess it is, down to 65 South and right down to our hotel.
There you were.
And
don't get confused. One confusing thing is like the roads will change, the streets will change names.
Yeah.
So, and that's what threw me off. And you're on Old Hickory, and then suddenly you're on Bell Road, and you're like, where? Or like Woodmont, and then you're White Bridge, and you're like, where am I? Yeah. So that could throw you off, and you think you made a turn and you didn't. Yeah.
So, who, if you could co-write with any person, dead or alive, who would it be?
Patty Griffin.
Oh wow.
I would love to write with her, but I'd also probably be so intimidated that I would just sit there and look at her and be like, oh.
Just let her do the writing. You'll listen.
Yeah, I would feel, I would probably feel intimidated for sure. I love her. She's amazing.
Now, back in 2015, we got to interview Kelsey Ballerini before she was Kelsey.
Wow. Yeah.
And a lot of people, and one of the questions I asked her was where she wanted to be in 5 years. I always like to tell this story before I ask the guest that same question because the answer she gave us was to the T of what she's living today.
Wow.
So she knew where she was going.
Yes, she did.
Knowing that, where do you want to be in 5 years?
I want to be hopefully making a pretty good living, playing a lot of shows. And I would love to have reached a lot larger of a fan base. Yeah. So if I was able to, I don't know, to me, success has changed. It's like if I'm in demand enough to go out
5 years ago would be different than now.
Yeah, if I get booked for shows and I can make a good living at it and keep growing my fan base and having more people hear my music and connect with it, that's success for me. And I have a daughter now, so it's like she's a year and a half, and I want to
enjoy the moments.
Yeah, I actually don't think I would want to have like a major label deal and be gone 300 days of the year. I definitely wouldn't want that. I've loved being home, and because of COVID, even like shows were canceled, and that gave me all the time with her. Like for that first year of her life, I never missed a moment, and it was everything, because you can't get the time back. It's like, if there's one thing I could ever wish for, if you said, what's a wish right now that if you could have one wish, I would say, I would wish, well, I'd have two, and I would say, I wish for another day with my dad, and I wish for another day with my brother. Wow. And I've dreamed it, and I've seen them in dreams or visits, what I call a visit. But, that's it. I mean, family is everything, and I want that time with her. So just whatever, just just enough success to where I'm balancing
everything the best of your ability.
Yes,
balancing and having, still feeling happy that my music is authentic and reaching people. If I get little notes like I did this morning about someone using it at their wedding and someone coming up after a show and crying because they said that song reminds me of my dad. Like that's it.
That means everything.
Well,
Yes.
Yeah. So-
And how would you describe your music to someone who hasn't heard it yet?
Okay. There's a lot of storytelling in my songs. I guess I would call it singer-songwriter now because and it's well, I don't know what label you put on it anymore. It's country. Is it country Americana? I don't know what's country anymore. I don't know. It's not like pop tracks kind of country.
Yeah.
It's just country. It's like what I grew up on. I grew up on stuff in the 90s and early 2000s that were like
That's a really great era for country music.
yeah, and there were story songs and songs about
Wow.
real life, and they were family oriented, and so that's kind of my stuff. That's what I like to do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what would you like for your legacy to be as an artist? What would you like to be known and remembered for?
I would love to be a role model for little girls, the same way as Reba was for me, you know,
Wow.
to show, and I'm a role model right now for my little girl, and it's
Right.
showing her that you can go
Absolutely.
out. There's nothing you can't do. Like I like to wear a lot of hats because I am creatively inclined to, but also I like to show that like there's nothing that a woman can't do. There's nothing that a woman can't do. We can produce, we can direct videos, we can build furniture, we can build houses, we can do anything. And I want her, like, she's already seeing that. She's seeing that mommy doesn't sit back when she's told, no, you're a girl, go over here. Like I'll rise up against that. So
Absolutely.
you know, because I like that, and I think I want her to feel like there's nothing she can't do when she's older. You know, I want her to be brave.
Love
Yes, and if you could relay any message to your fans, what would you want to tell them?
I would just want to thank them so much for being so wonderful and loyal to me all these years and interactive. I love all that. So keep coming on my social media, the comments, the messages. I read all of them. I love all of them. My social media for new fans is you can find me on Facebook at Andrea Pearson, and Instagram, same thing, Andrea Pearson Music. And also my website is andreapearsonmusic.com, and all the links will be there as well. But yeah, I mean, I just appreciate it. And I do have some news coming up. I don't know if I was waiting for you guys to tell or I should tell.
Tell it.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So we are getting a broadcast video premiere. I've been waiting to say this, but we're getting a broadcast video premiere this Wednesday on TCN on the Country Network.
Oh, wow.
Oh, awesome.
Yes, and
Congrats on that.
Thank you. So I'm so excited, and I've been like waiting to tell my fans, but there it is. You heard it here first.
I wish we'd have said that at the very beginning.
Yeah,
that's okay. I'm going to share it on my social media, and I'll share it on there, and people can find out where it's going to be playing, like what times in their areas. But that's coming up on Wednesday, July 14th. And then also I have a digital premiere with Think Country. And that's also
that was the one I knew about.
Yeah, and that's really awesome. And so I'm so excited about both of those, and just now having the video premiere for this song is like, yay.
And Joe asked, do you have a YouTube channel?
I have a YouTube channel, and that's Andrea Pearson. And I would love for people to go on there and subscribe, because then they'll see the video and all the new stuff first. Like they'll get the notification and they won't miss it.
Love that. So as we come to a close here, my last question, let's say you had a friend of yours and you heard him or her sing, and they have something special. As Simon Cowell would say, they have that it factor.
Yeah.
They've played maybe 40 or 50 shows, and they're still getting their feet wet on the performance side, but they've been on stage and they got what every artist says, that stage bug, where they look over the crowd's roaring for them, and they know they're in the right place.
Yeah.
Come to you. What advice would you give that specific person to kind of help guide them the next couple of years?
Oh, I would say, keep doing that. Keep playing shows. Keep booking more shows. Keep finding out, honing in on. See, it's one thing to play shows, but then it's another thing to really develop your sound and your style. And I think that happens organically. Just the more time you put in, the more time you put in writing. If you don't write, finding outside songs
He said
and
he's sub 805.
yeah, and trying them out for people and trying them out on an audience. That's the best feedback you're ever going to get.
Yeah.
That's better than taking a song up and down Music Row. It is, because like the people will let you know if they're liking it. If they're liking it, it's like you're going to know. And if they're not into it, they're going to be looking everywhere else, and you're just not going to have their attention.
Yeah, if you got a couple people not liking it, it's one thing, but when everybody don't like it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And I mean, hopefully you're not doing something like controversial where people are doing it, throwing rotten tomatoes at you. But like,
our friend Joe just said he's sub number 805. He just subscribed.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But yeah,
love
no,
it.
I think that, I love also the longer that I've been here, I've really kind of enjoyed like seeing some people that have been working at it for as long as I have, and really enjoying their moments too. Like,
Yeah.
and going, oh yeah, like that person's finally getting a break, or this. I love that. I feel almost just as much joy when that happens as I would for something that's happened to me, because I know how much you put into it. I know how heartbreaking it is when you hear no, and I also know just how much patience it takes to really, and strength to just stay in the game. So
Yeah.
Yes.
Love that. And
Yeah.
Joe's talking about how comments on YouTube can guide your career, talking about how raw they can be.
Oh yeah, they can. Well, I think that's another thing that, kind of like I said earlier about taking people's opinions with a grain of salt, because there can be something that can be learned from it, but also ever since shows like American Idol and those, it's put this mentality out there that people tend to think that everyone's a critic. You know what I mean?
They try to be Simon Cowell.
Yeah, everyone's a judge and everyone's a critic, and sometimes that goes for anything on it. And sometimes it's not necessary to always, blast your voice all over the place. And typically, like if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. It's like, it's okay to say something sometimes, but I think the internet also can be a platform for people to be mean. And one thing I'm glad that they did is they took off the comment section, I think, for videos where little kids are in, because I remember years ago, like in my line of work, sometimes I'll be set up to write with kids, and I remember what it's like when you start out when you're a little kid. It's like, you're around all these grown-ups, and it's just, and I would see these videos of I'm talking like a little 7-year-old girl on there singing, and people writing nasty comments.
And it's always adults.
So
that's the crazy part.
That's what I'm saying. Adults on there writing nasty comments, and I'm like, and it just made me sick. I just felt like, what does this world come to, that people are, and no one would do that. I don't think anyone would do that to your face, but they feel emboldened sitting behind a computer screen, like invisible, and saying just ugly things. And I'm like, boy, I don't like that. I don't like seeing stuff like that. So,
and you saying that made me think, we interviewed a 13-year-old girl who's a big YouTube star, singer.
Okay.
And I always noticed her comments were always turned off. Now I guess I know why. YouTube doesn't allow it.
Yeah, they don't. And I don't know when that started, if that was like a year or two ago, but I'm glad that they did, because that's not okay. That's not okay. And that's not okay. And it's, it's not okay for adults to do to other adults either.
Yeah.
People just, So I don't like that. I don't like the bullying.
Yeah, you can't be kind and go somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah, it's like we can all have opinions on things, but it doesn't mean we have to blast them on social media all day long. It's like I use social media as a place to share music. I share a lot of my personal life, my horse and my dogs, and about my daughter, and just and I love sharing parts of my personal life with people and feeling close with everyone. But it's a place of positivity. Like,
That's how we do.
That's
Yeah.
what we do.
Yeah, and if you
And
want
any
to find
negative comments gets deleted. If
well, you know what?
if it's like a
you're
troll,
moderated,
if it's like a troll, I
Troll,
delete.
right.
Someone has it was Oprah one time. It talked about she had the KKK on her show long time ago. She had them on as a way of, I think, putting a spotlight on how horrible.
I think I remember that episode.
Yeah, and then she felt awful afterwards because she realized she had given a platform of her audience that she worked hard to build. That's her audience, her fan base, her fame.
Yeah.
And she gave these this ugly hatred and all of this platform on her show. And that stuck with me. And I was like, yeah, that's why you should delete comments off your page when people are being ugly. And
I do. I monitor everything.
He does. Yeah.
Good. And because you don't need to use your platform, you work hard to build that. I work hard to build my fan base. You guys work hard in what you do to build the kind of fan base. I believe in freedom of speech, but I don't like when people use it as a platform to spew
I believe in
hate.
freedom of speech, but you got the freedom for your own speech on your own page.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And if it's stuff that's wildly inappropriate or spewing hatred and causing like fighting between people, that's not what your brand is about, and you're not a controversial person, then you pull that off. Yeah. But you don't.
We're a family show.
You're a family show, yeah. And that's how I consider myself, like a family type artist with my music. I sing stuff that I want everyone from my daughter's age to 100 years old, and that's usually in my audiences when I play at places. There'll be a huge age demographic like that, and I don't want to, not into like. It's just I want to keep it clean and family oriented, and that's it.
Right. I love that. So as we close out here, we really enjoyed having you on the show today, and we look forward to having you back down the road with some more announcements.
I would love to. Thank you so much. You guys are so fun to talk to, and I loved talking to your son for a minute.
He's our secret weapon.
He's our secret weapon.
He was adorable, and just wait till your daughter gets to getting on here. She'll be asking some hard-hitting questions.
And our friend Joe, and he's right. He says, "I am not a family show."
He's not a family show. Yeah,
his show. If you watch him, you'll see it's every Thursday night is his show, and it's just a couple guys getting together talking.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll check it out. But yeah, everybody just know your brand. It's like if that's your thing, and just know your audience and
know what works
exactly.
for you.
Yeah,
we love it.
Exactly.
And we look forward to having you back, though.
Thank you so much. Well,
thanks.
I appreciate it.